Hi, everybody. DJ Yoakley with you here at YSN headquarters and on the road. They're not driving, so just so everybody knows, they're just in their cars so they can hear each other. It's Keaton Baker and Brutus Ogilvie, two of the members of the United Local High School football team. Boys, how we doing?
Doing good.
Awesome. There's a little bit of a delay, so we'll get that taken care of as well. There was no delay on your victory over in week one. Unbelievable statistics, putting up numbers that would make Madden people jealous. Let's start with you, Brutus. As a senior, being able to look at what you guys did on the field on Saturday night, how crazy was it of a week for you, knowing that you're starting to prep for a Friday night, and all of a sudden they move it to Saturday, and you're expected to just like bounce back like a rubber ball?
I was up in my room packing all my stuff, and then I was actually playing some music, and then we got a text saying that it was delayed to the next day. So, it doesn't really affect you. I feel like you just get more time to get mentally prepared, and honestly, in some ways, I feel like that helped us.
Now, I can respect that. When you look at all the things that you've been through adversity, you guys have kind of done it together. Keaton, how was it like? What was it like for you to have to wait an extra day, knowing that, I mean, you guys had to be amped up, everything that you've been through with Corona and maybe not playing and then maybe playing and then having to wait an extra day. Was it a little bit tense?
Yeah, it was a little bit tense for me. I was actually getting my stuff packed too, and I was all anxious and stuff, getting ready to play again. I haven't played in so long. I played the last 2 games of the season last year, and then just getting ready for, you're not sure if you're even going to get a season this year. So then all that there, it's kind of built up, and then having to play the next day, you just had to get your head right for the next day.
Guys, you had one heck of a kickoff, if you would, for your senior year. Keaton, you caught 255 yards, an unbelievable amount, just eating up those yards like Pac-Man on the receiver side. And then Brutus, I mean, you were the guy throwing them, and you had 425. What was it like to kick off your senior year of football like that? Let's go to Brutus first.
Obviously after missing all of last year, well, first of all, sophomore year, winning the league, and then last year, missing the whole year, didn't have the greatest season ever. And then with all this COVID stuff, after all that, a long off season, just starting it off with a game like that against a really good opponent, it really sets the tone for the year.
Keaton, how about you? I mean, that's one heck of a fireworks show that you put on the other end of the Brutus Ogilvie pass.
Yeah, so it was a lot of fun to just get out there and play, and having a quarterback that can give me the ball like that, it's the way it needs to be. It was a lot of fun because last year, both of us overcoming that injury, getting back out to it this year, it was just a lot of fun.
So let's talk about that. Something that wasn't so fun is you both overcoming injuries last year to stand up your senior year and try to take back what you feel is rightfully yours, and that's an EOAC championship. What was last year like for each of you in different ways? Obviously, season-ending injuries. Brutus, I know it's tough for you, Dad being coach. You feel like there's a little extra something at home. Did you feel like, I mean, I hate to even ask this, do you feel like you let yourself down, you let your team down by losing your entire season?
I mean, you always have that thought. I mean, talking about it, people always saying, oh, you couldn't have done anything. But, like, you always have that thought in the back of your mind, like, well, maybe if I did this, or maybe, if I would have ran some more or stretched a little bit more, you always have that thought in the back of your mind. But, you learn to deal with it. And then obviously it was a long year watching all that happen. But, you get over it and you bounce back.
Keaton, what about you? Watching from the sidelines, what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your team? And what are you implementing this year?
Yeah, it was tough at first being out there and just having to stand on the sidelines and not be able to be part of the action. And it really showed a lot about our underclassmen and people, because we had a ton of injuries last year. Not only me and Brutus, we had, I think it was half our starters at one point weren't even in the game.
12 of our 22 on offense and defense were out.
Yeah, so our underclassmen had to overcome all that adversity and just get in there and play and just get the experience racked up.
Now, do you feel like you can look at, I mean, both of you being senior leaders, and we'll meet the other seniors the rest of this year here on YSN, but Do you feel like you can look at these underclassmen in the eyes and understand that they got some reps last year, so they're not exactly they might be ahead of where they should have been, and you guys can make a run not only in the EOAC, but given that everybody makes the playoffs, you might make a little noise in the postseason as well. Brutus?
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many teams in this area that have, 4 sophomores with 7+ games of experience, So going into the season now, we got a lot of kids back, and knowing that your right guys right off the bench, they got 5-6 games under the belt too. So it gives you a lot of confidence that hey, maybe I can take a breather here because I know he's got my back and he's been there before. And it helps get in the reps. It just helps the rotations. It makes it a lot easier.
Keaton, from your standpoint, I mean, is it a little easier for you to be able to look at the other guys down the lane and say, okay, this is what I saw from my end last year. I'm here to supplement you and vice versa?
Yeah, you can really put your trust in those teammates, especially the younger guys that have been there before. You can't be like, oh, I have to worry about these guys and see what they're doing and make sure they know what they're doing, because I know they know what they're doing. And it's reassuring to me.
Let's reverse course a little bit for it. Keaton, do you feel like United is seen as a little bit of an underdog? Do you feel like an underdog in the EOAC this year, and do you like that feeling?
I do kind of feel like we're viewed as the underdog, especially because of our season last year. And, I just don't like to do much talking, but I want to go out there and just let my game show. Let the team be out there. Let our team work together, do our stuff as a team.
Brutus, you go out and hang a 425 spot on your opponent last week. Do you feel like you had something to prove going into week 1?
Oh, absolutely. After, losing to them in overtime my sophomore year, one of our 2 losses, and then last year watching us, I forget what the score was, but losing by 40 or however many we lost to, you had that little extra motivation going in saying, I want some revenge for this team, and then on top of that, after missing every game and knowing that, or a month ago, knowing that they're week 1, you just, that whole month, that's all you're thinking. Hey, this is the game. And then going out there, having a little chip on your shoulder, you're extra prepared.
Columbiana, obviously no slouch when it comes to what they can put on the football field. They're known for it, and they expect to win no matter who's on the other sideline. When you look at this team that you're playing this week, the Lisbon Blue Devils, they've kind of raised some eyebrows as well. They have a great defense. They're looking to do big things, and they're looking to stir the pot a little bit here in the EOAC. What impresses you the most about your opponent this week? First, we'll go with Mr. Ogilvie.
They got some athletes. That's the biggest thing that stuck out to me. They got a couple kids. Seeing them run the ball, catch the ball. In the past, I know they've had some injuries when we played them. We usually play them at the end of the year. So they've always had to deal with some stuff going into when we played them. But they're healthy. When they got their best guys in, the first thing I noticed was they got some athletes and they can do some things to us.
KB, what are your thoughts when you look at Lisbon across the way?
Yeah, it's like what Brutus said. They got athletes there, and they got a solid defense. I know some of their linebackers are good, and it's just we got to bring our all when we play them. We can't slouch on them.
People look at this as a rivalry game. I feel like everybody that lines up against United is a rivalry game in EOAC. I mean, where does this rank in kind of your mind? I mean, you guys are pretty close in proximity. Does the Eagle Blue Devil rivalry exist, KB?
Yeah, it's been a rivalry since as long as I can remember. I know when I was in elementary, I'd always go to the high school games, and there was crazy student sections for the rivalry in every sport. It's not just football. I know every sport we play them in, it's always a good rivalry game.
Brutus, what would a victory mean over Lisbon here your senior year?
We were actually just talking about this in the locker room. It would mean a lot because we would be one of the only classes to beat Lisbon in football all 4 years. And so, that's been like the motivation going into Lisbon this week was we want to be, have that chip on our shoulder, being 4-0 against Lisbon. When you see those guys in town, you just to have that, hey, we beat you, it's nice to have.
I love it. I love that even when you're at the getting gas and you see somebody roll up in a Blue Devil jacket,
Yep.
you got something on them. Respect for that. Respect for that. I'm sure they'll have something to say about that as well for you Eagles. Guys, let's talk about Corona for a second. I mean, you were this close to your season and your careers ending via injury and never being able to take the field again in your high school career. How scary was that for you? Brutus, we'll start with you.
Oh, you hear a lot of stuff on the news, about, it's going to be canceled and all this. But then on top of that, when your dad's the coach and he comes home and you hear the news, this is happening, you go to bed at night going, holy crap, this we might lose our season, because you hear all the stuff that's going on that most people don't know. And, so yeah, it did scare us for a while, but once we came out, we were allowed to start lifting. We weren't for sure going to play, but I feel like the biggest step was the government letting us lift. That was a huge relief. And then obviously, it's only 6 games and then the playoffs, but I'll take as many games as we'll get.
Keaton, when the ball was teed up on Saturday night, what were the emotions running through your head and kind of what things were going through your experiences with the injury and then COVID, and then now you're out on the football and a little bit of normalcy back in your life? Just take us through kind of the steps for you.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy all through that COVID stuff. We have to follow all the guidelines and stuff, and we had to really, really pressure that into being like, we got to do that, do this, all the way that the government or the governor wants us to. And we have to follow all those guidelines. And then, obviously not getting to play all 10 games last year, you would want to go out onto the field giving it everything you got. You can't take a play off here and there. You got to give it everything you got just because you don't know how long the season's going to be. And I'm grateful that we get a season. And that first game, I just went out there and gave all I had.
All right, let's take it off the field for a minute. We're going to play rapid fire. We haven't ever done this where it's 2 guys that we're asking the questions to, but since there's a dynamic connection, I'm interested to see how many of these are the same for both of your answers. All right, so this is how it works. I ask you a question, first thing that comes to your mind. We're going to go Keaton, then Brutus, and then Brutus, then Keaton. We're just going to go reverse skate every time, okay? No cheating. You can't cheat off each other, okay? So here it goes. We're going Brutus first. Favorite Gatorade?
Grape.
Keaton?
Red.
All right, 0 for 1. Favorite teacher at United? Keaton?
Ooh, Mr. Williams.
I was going to say Mr. Williams.
All right, 1 for 2. 1 for 2. Here we go. All right, let's see. Favorite play in the playbook without giving too much away? Let's go Brutus.
I would have to say it's a deep route to Keaton.
Keaton?
Yep. Fade. Yep.
All right, 2 for 3. 2 for 3. All right, favorite color? I don't know, just whatever. Favorite color that you have? Keaton, you first.
Blue.
Brutus?
I gotta go green.
Oh, okay. So we're halfway there. We're batting 500. Let's go with favorite college football team, Brutus.
Oh, you already know, Ohio State.
How can you not be named Brutus and not be Ohio State?
I'm
Keaton.
pretty sure if I said anything else, I wouldn't be sleeping in my bed tonight.
Oh, I'm just glad you're not named Wolverine, I guess.
Yeah.
Keaton.
Definitely Buckeyes.
All right. Favorite pro football team, Keaton.
I like the Baltimore Ravens.
Brutus.
I would have to go with the Packers.
Wow. Okay. Favorite. Do you follow baseball? For favorite pro baseball team?
I would go the Indians. Always been
I
a
like
tri-fan.
the Indians as well.
All right. Now here's the ultimate. Favorite school lunch? Brutus, you first.
Ooh. I don't get it too much, but I would have to say probably the chicken sandwich.
Keaton?
Yep, mine's the chicken sandwiches.
All right. Keaton, cat or dog?
You're gonna have to go cat.
Brutus?
No, dog all the way.
Oh my gosh. Favorite, your dream car. Brutus, you first.
Ooh. I would have to go a 4-door Jeep Wrangler.
Keaton.
Some sort of Corvette.
See, I would have bet truck. I would have bet the house on truck for you, Keaton. I would have bet the house. I know Landon would just say truck.
Oh,
All right,
yeah.
guys. A big game, obviously, against the Blue Devils. We wish you well. We want to thank you so much for spending some time with us here on YSN. And obviously, keep putting those numbers up, and maybe you'll be the big dogs of the Valley. Proud of you both. Excited for you both. We'll do anything for you. Thanks for your time, and good luck this Friday.